Happy Thursday. I'm Nancy Ganzikoffer, business coach and body language trainer, and I'm here with which direction are you in? Associate coach, Lesley Myrick.
Good
Welcome,
morning.
Lesley.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Oh, it's been a rough week. Like in our team, there's been a lot going on this week, and we think it's because of the moon.
We're going to blame the moon anyway.
I don't know
how much I buy into that, but it's weird when all these things seem to converge and like just stuff happens simultaneously.
Yes, and I'm one of those quasi believers, but when it works for me, when the shit's hitting the fan and I decide it's because of the moon, it works for me. So I'm doing it. This is the week. But I want to talk today about what I find to be probably the most important thing related to someone's success. And I know people have heard this before and they're probably sick of hearing it. It's this mindset, right? I don't need mindset work. I just need to know how to set my pricing. I just need to know how to have my ladder of services. I just need to understand my contract. And when the client complains, how do I respond? Yes, you need to know all of that, but you also need to work on your mindset because you can know all those things and it falls flat to your success because you haven't worked on this. You're a huge growth mindset person. Tell everybody what you do on a consistent basis.
Oh, I mean, I've always been one who loves to learn. My goal is always 50 books a year, and I count audiobooks. So don't think I'm like just sitting there turning pages all the time. Like there's ways to do it. Like I love podcasts. There's so much great information out there to help with mindset. And the thing that I found that is annoying, mindset is like food. Like you don't get to eat one meal and you're good for the rest of your life. Like you have to keep eating food to keep yourself alive. You have to keep, I mean, literally daily, at least weekly, spending time listening to great podcasts, working with a coach, reading a book, doing a training. It is not something that just like you don't arrive like, okay, mindset's fixed. I've got it all figured out.
Nope.
It really is little bits, little mindset snacks.
Yeah, I call it constant reinforcement. I mean, I'm a coach. I've been a coach for a long time. I got a pretty solid mindset most of the time, but it's because I know that it's not something I can let slip. I haven't arrived and have the perfect mindset that is going to drive my success. I'm constantly reinforcing what I already know, what I need to know, and getting myself straightened out again. Because what happens is you're going straight and everything's going well, and then something happens and you get derailed, and you have to be reminded about the success habits that help you get to that next level. So let's talk about success habit number 1, finding a successful morning routine. You said you're currently struggling with that.
Well, kind of not, working on it.
Working on it.
I love that you said, I wanted to touch it, like the word habit, like the mindset thing is a habit. It takes some work to get there. But yeah, a morning routine, you have one whether or not you realize it. But whether it's working for you and supporting you or not is the question. So for me, I've got 2 young kids. High level, my morning routine is get up the kids, make lunches, get them on the bus. My husband and I sit and have coffee for 45 minutes in a quiet house, which honestly for me, it's wonderful. But it's a shift because I'm the type that like, kids are gone, let's get to work. Like mama's got shit to do. And I've had to be like, no, like this is good. This is good for our marriage. It's good for us to just have this quiet time in the morning. We just sit in our breakfast room, look out the window, do Wordle, drink our coffee together. And then at 8:00, that is when, go have a shower, get dressed, get ready, start thinking about my day. And so that's our weekday rhythm. And it's nice. It's just nice to start, get things done, but also take a little downtime, let my brain have a little bit of time to percolate and think. I'm very tempted to just skip all that and jump.
I know.
And then I have a terrible day, even though I feel like I've been running full steam since 7:30 in the morning. It's because I have not taken the time to really set myself up mentally, emotionally, physically to have a good day.
And that's really the key. There's a book called The Perfect Day Formula. I have it on my bookshelf back here. And it's one that I pull out often whenever I lose my routine. I'm like, why did my day go so shitty? What did I do different? And if you really start to outline when you have a good day, how did you start it out? And try to repeat, right? It's duplicating your successful morning routines. So the days you have a great day, what did you eat? What time did you get up? What time did you get in the shower? Did you speak to anyone or did you not? Right? I always realize I have to get out of my bed 2 hours before my first appointment or my first responsibility for work. So if I have a 9 a.m. live, I have to be out of bed at 7, and that allows me to eat and make a healthy breakfast, take my shower, walk my dog, chat with one of my sisters, usually who's in a different time zone. And I have that calm morning instead of like, oh my God, I gotta go and I forgot. And right, and it gives me that extra time that I need. So if something does go wrong in my morning and I have to make an extra phone call or deal with a child, which mine are all adult children now, I have the space. So find your successful morning routine and duplicate it and then tweak it. And when you lose it, go back and remind yourself.
Go back to it because there's a reason you set it up in the first place.
Yes. Okay. Number 2, which is really prevalent in my life right now, is support your health as a priority. So those of us who work like crazy and are workaholics our entire life, which I have definitely been, it catches up with you if you haven't been maintaining your health along the way, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Drinking enough water, making sure you have time to sit away from your desk and have lunch, having healthy relationships, which we're going to talk about next, but that making yourself, your healthy self, a priority has to be at the top, because without your health, you're not going to be a good business owner. You're not going to be a good mom or dad. You're not going to be a good spouse.
Yeah.
That's number 1. So what do you do to support your health?
Well, and part of that too is you're the boss. You built this business so you could have freedom in your life. It is okay to use part of your day to exercise. You don't have to squeeze in exercise at, I don't know, after you can, after the kids go to bed or get up at 4 a.m., which good for you if you're that person.
Used to be. I used to be.
Oh, I've never have been. Calendar and figuring out what is a viable rhythm for me. Like, when can I fit in exercise? And for me, just walking. I mean, sure, I hope to get there to be someone who loves exercise, but I don't. So for now, I literally, it's funny that this was our topic today because I was working on this right before we jumped on, is that just every day at 8 o'clock, I now have a 30-minute walk in my calendar. Just go around the neighborhood, get my brain going for the day. Exercise does not have to mean boot camp and crazy, like, just move your body. Don't do it for weight loss. Don't do it for whatever. Do it for your physical, just general health and your emotional health. It is, for me, it's as much relieving stress, clearing my mind, just having that time as it is to keep my body healthy.
Absolutely. I can always tell based on how well I focus, how motivated I feel, what I ate and did the day before, right? Because it really matters. So if you care less about the, like you said, the weight or the scale or the look, you just go, how did I feel today emotionally? How did I feel physically? What did I do yesterday or this morning that helps support that? So really making your health a priority is key, because as I've told many of my clients, and you've heard me say this, take a week off or take a couple of days off before you're forced to take a couple of days off because you've gotten sick or you're having a breakdown of some kind.
Yeah. If you don't take care of your body will force you to. Exactly like you said, you will get sick, you'll be knocked on your ass, and you can prevent that. And again, you're the boss. You can choose this. I know we often feel like, oh, but I'm so busy or I have so much.
Yes.
Okay. Plan, start to plan better, step back, work with a coach, talk to somebody that can help you get some perspective on that, because you're not going to survive going full tilt 5 days a week.
Right. And no matter how much money you want to make, if you're sick, you're not going to be able to make it. Right. So if you're just chasing the money all the time, you have to reevaluate your priorities, right? We want to be successful as business owners and have the money we need to support our life, but the health comes first. So we're just here to remind everybody, don't let that go. Okay. Number 3, you want to take this one? Surround yourself.
Surround yourself with supportive people and eliminate the negative ones. And this is, I know it's easier said than done, but you know, if there's someone in your life that is dragging you down and you're friends with them, you have a relationship with them more out of obligation and guilt than it being a really true healthy thing. And this is a scary one. It is scary to move on. It can be as clear as like a breakup. It can be more just like, you know, fizzling away, but you cannot have people in your life that drag you down and don't support you and everything that's important to you.
Yeah, because if you think about the strain on you when you're trying to achieve something and you're focusing on the positive, on your health, on your business, on your relationships, whatever you're focusing on at the moment, on continuous learning so you can just feel like you're achieving the next level in your life, and you have people around you that are negative, it just drags you down. And I do always tell this story in my coaching sessions, and I think I've told it out loud, but for those of you who haven't heard it, years ago, I interviewed a bunch of coaches before when I was becoming a coach. I'm like, let me interview some of these coaches and find out how they coach people and what their thoughts are and what their superpowers are. And one, I can't remember his name. It's bothering me when I tell this story and I can't remember his name. Imagine yourself standing in a box, and in that box is big life-size box, right? And you can see the walls around you. This is your community. And inside of the box are all your support system, your family, your friends, anyone who you have relied on. And they're all there cheering you on. And then one day, and you're all cheering each other on because you're all living in this space. One day, water starts to come into the box and the drain opens up in the middle, because this is, like a fantasy thing. And the water's coming down and you start going down the drain. You're falling down the drain, and all those people around you are grabbing your hands and they're pulling you up from the drain because they're trying to save you from danger and from death, right? So they're there supporting you. But the very next day, so they saved you and everyone's happy. The next day, you see something outside of the box that is really appealing to you. Like, I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to make $200,000 a year. I want to have a larger design firm. I want to be a coach, a podcaster, an influencer. I want to create product with my name on it. All these fabulous things that are outside your little box that you've created your whole life of just your family and friends. There's aspirations. So what do? You start climbing out of the box to go for those bigger things. And the people in that box, just like they saved you the day before, they think they're saving you from the fear and of the unknown, that things that they don't understand. So they grab your feet and your ankles and they start pulling you back, going, no, don't go. Stay here with us. And it doesn't mean they don't want you to have success. It just scares them that they don't understand the unknown, the thing that you're trying to achieve. Does this make sense?
I love this story because you're right. A negative person, someone unsupportive, it doesn't have it's not always going to be someone glaringly obvious that's being a jerk. Like, it is often people that you
love you
deeply, that care about you, but they don't want to see you fail. They don't want to see you get hurt. And so it's safer to pull you down, keep you where you were, versus watching you put yourself out there and take a risk. But there's no way this business journey works if you don't put yourself out there and take those risks and see what happens.
Right. And they're not doing it to really hold you back. They're doing it because they don't understand your business. They don't understand your aspirations. You hear things like, you can't charge that much money to do that. No one will ever pay that kind of money. You're going to end up going under. Really? You want to start your own business or maintain your own business? Are you sure? Because then you never sleep. It's always your problem. You never get real downtime. Like all the negative statements that people say who aren't entrepreneurs, right? You don't have a pension. You're never going to make it. How are you going to, right? Whatever it is, if it doesn't match your aspirations, that could feel like something that's trying to keep you down emotionally, even though they love you and want to see you succeed, right? So surrounding yourself with supportive people doesn't mean dumping your favorite people in the world. It's just recognize that they may not have the same aspirations and desires for you, and they may not have the same understanding of what you're trying to achieve. So that doesn't mean they're mean. It just means you have to take their perspective with a grain of salt. Not let it get into your heart and stop you from going for the success that you want. So
gotta trust the intuition that you have about what you know is right for you.
Absolutely. So, okay, number 4. I'm going to take this one because I wrote this sentence because I remember when I became a coach, this is commit to the strain of continued learning. And for some people like you're like, what? That's not a strain. I love to learn, right? And although I love to learn, there are times with what I'm learning just hurts my brain. I feel like I'm too old. I can't learn this technology. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to. Like, I get that. I get like that sometimes. But when I just say to myself, stop fighting the learning process, because I know when I learn new things, I get to that next level that I've been trying to achieve. Right? So you're a continuous learner. How many books a year?
My goal is usually 50 books a year. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I have hit that, maybe gone a couple above. And like I will say it's not all business and personal development. I have been enjoying my share of trashy fiction as well. But
Perfect.
habit of reading, like I love taking courses, working with coaches, like just I feel like it's so I don't know, I really truly like it. I understand not everybody does, but just like the morning routine, just like the habits and the mindset, if you want to grow, if you want to keep doing better in business, keep succeeding, keep up with technology and trends. And I don't mean you have to be trendy, but we all have to adapt to what's happening and how people are working in the world.
Yes.
Committing to continued learning is incredibly important. And it's not something that just happens. You don't magically find time in your calendar to take
Nope.
a class or read a book. Just like the working out thing, just like the health thing, even if it's 15 minutes, block it off in your calendar, make that a priority. Little small habits over time. Like don't go whole hog and take a week off and go intent. Like you can, good for you. But this is something that, again, it's that mindset, it's the habit, it's getting into the routine of continually learning, growing, developing, implementing new things, and making that part of your work week.
Yes. And I don't think you have to go as far as Lesley and I go when it comes to your personal development, because what Lesley just said was key. Implement also, right? I don't want to read 100 books in the year and not be able to implement anything that I've read. And I also don't want to get oversaturated in my learning either, right? There's a balance there for each one of you. And I know what my balance is. You know what your balance is. Find your balance. If it's one book a month where you're implementing the second month and that's all you do, that's plenty because you're learning and you're growing, right? So don't judge yourself based on other people's standards. Just continue to commit to continued learning yourself, and don't shut down with the silly things that I used to say to myself is like, I'm too old to learn this, or I love this one. It's not my superpower. And I hear on all the podcasts that if it's not my superpower, I should just hire someone to do it. And I'm always like, that's one way to lose a lot of money, right? Because if you know nothing about it and you just hand it off to somebody, and I've done this myself, which is how I know it's a good way to lose money, is I trust people to go, oh, they're the YouTube experts. Let me just hand everything over to them and not learn anything myself. No, now what I do is I want to learn a little bit myself so I can logic check when I hire someone to do something, whether they're really doing what I think they should be doing, right? So don't shut down. Force your brain to keep learning. Okay, what are we up to? Number 5, and the last one here is understand growth and change take time and new skills take practice. I remember my body language trainer, she said, listen, the way I learned, she was talking about herself, Vanessa Van Edwards, The Science of People. She's like, I have to watch a training once with no pen and paper in my hand and just sit and listen. Second time I watch and I actually take notes. Third time I watch, I take deeper notes and I start making my list of how to get it done. And I'm like, wow, she has to watch every training 3 times to really like get it into her brain. So what is it for you? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Like know yourself and understand that growth takes time and that it's going to be different for everybody.
And it's one of those things where it might feel like you're not making progress or it's not worth it. But if you an end of year review, if you sort of scan your calendar back the year, if you look back on where you were 12 months ago, you will be amazed. We all take for granted our own progress, how far we've come. And I think it's also so important to take whether it's quarterly, at least annually, but maybe quarterly as well, even monthly, if that's part of your business routine, look back and see like what has changed, what has improved, what have I learned that has really helped me do better, help the business do better. It's the stuff that it feels like you're not making any progress and suddenly you look back and everything is different.
Yeah. I mean, we're finding that in our team. What our focus was last year, we made tremendous progress based on our focus last year. This year, our focus was something different. Next year, our focus. And when we look back, go, wow, we have come a long way. I mean, for us, we have started to focus big time into bringing all the trainings and the membership site up to date, filling in the blanks. That's so people can get coached and information 24/7 from the Confident Interior Designer membership site. And then, of course, our Profit Insiders, which is our group program. And then the key, the ultimate designer pricing tool is coming out shortly, almost, I think, in less than 10 days now. Oh, so we focus on these things and we think, God, it took us a long time to create that, but we did it. Yeah. And that's what I want everyone to focus on, to to understand that growth and change takes time, and it's okay that it takes a month longer or 2 months longer, as long as the end result is something you're proud of.
Bingo.
Right? So, all right, everyone, we're going to leave you today a little shorter than usual because we both have very busy days, and hopefully you do too. If you need more support and you don't know where to start, hop into the Confident Interior Designer membership site. Leslie's been adding a ton of trainings in there. I continue to add my trainings and fine tune the trainings that are in there. It's really an incredible wealth of information for $97 a month. I mean, we have over 80 trainings in there, and even one training could change your profitability, change the way you look at your business, change the success of your business. So don't miss out on looking in there and seeing if there's something in there that can help you. So thank you, Lesley, for being here with me.
My pleasure. Have a good week, everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone. Talk to you soon.